Today on Flow Academy, we are covering this beautiful wire bra. I place my scrim foam inside a box and spray it with heavy duty spray glue. Cardboard box is important because you don't want things to be sticky. I lay down my fabric and press my scrim foam into the fabric. I trim off the edges because it's not necessary. I then smooth down the fabric to make sure I get rid of any air bubbles. I trace around the bra to get the right shape for my pattern piece, and because it's curved, I make sure I roll the bra over in order to get the right size, otherwise it's just not correct. I cut it out and check that it fits both cups, and then trace around it on my scrim foam and spandex combo. Once again, I check that it fits properly, and then I spray the pieces with heavy duty adhesive and stick them to the wire. I tend to stick them both before I do the edges, just because the glue dries over time. And then it's time to just refine everything. So I cut out the corners first and foremost, and then if need be, trim down any areas that might be a little bit too big. Repeat the same process on both cups. Now, bearing in mind, we've sprayed this with contact adhesive, so everything is pretty sticky. And I just fold everything over and make sure I just stick it back on itself. There are some areas where it won't be sticky, and that's when I pull in my glue gun. Again, if there's anything that I think is just too long or too big to fold over, because it can be quite chunky, I'll trim that down and then fold it back on itself using my glue gun where appropriate, and I repeat the step for both cups. Now, this section of the process is really important, so I tend to take my time, make sure everything is stuck down as smoothly as possible, because if it is bulky, it can look quite unappealing. This is what it looks like after the fact. And I'm pretty pleased with that, so stay tuned for part 2 where I show you how I wrap the exposed wire and cover the back.